Yeah, wrestling fans. Guys, I'm skipping. I am skipping my usual open about subscribing and about hitting the bell and about liking and all that stuff because you all know what to do. And this Monday Night Raw, there's so much to cover. I don't even want to cover that opening spot that I always do. Too much to cover. Christian coming out of retirement. We're going to have to see Asuka and Nia Jax again. WWE teasing Bobby Lashley becoming the WWE champion. The Iconics. Taking on Bayley and Sasha Banks next week for the tag team championship. Like anybody wants to see that match. Wrestling fans, by WWE doing that, you're pretty much giving us WWE doing that. You're pretty much giving us zero reason to watch NXT this week because you're pretty much giving us the outcome. Unless you're wanting to watch NXT to see how good a match it is, that's it. We already know who's going to win. Why in the world do you do that? Okay? Especially when it's against the Iconics. All that plus so much more happening on Monday Night Raw tonight. And we're going to discuss it. First things first. Randy Orton comes out. He comes out and he proclaims that he is the greatest of all time. He is the greatest superstar ever. As if we didn't hear the greatest enough. Right, wrestling fans? We heard it from AJ Styles last night about his celebration this coming Friday. We heard it the entire build, numerous upon numerous times, leading up to Backlash. We heard it during Backlash, and now we're hearing it from Randy Orton on Raw. It is time for us to stop hearing the word greatest. It's time to stop hearing the phrase greatest of all time. Go back to normal. He's a good superstar. He's nowhere near the greatest of all time. Okay, Bruce, Brother Love, Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn? Don't feed him that garbage. Tell you what. Didn't hear Randy Orton saying that when Paul Heyman was in charge. Okay? Now, Christian comes out. Pretty much, Randy Orton says, I know why you're out here. You're out here for Edge, and you're wanting to steal spotlight, and you're wanting to come out of retirement, and things of that nature, because your career ended too soon, and blah, 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 blah. Unsanctioned matchup. That's the way to get around your retirement. What does Christian do? He accepts, like we all knew he was going to. Later on, I will discuss what happened and about how WWE is kind of building this rivalry like they did Randy Orton versus the McMahons in 2009. That's all this is. Okay? That is all this is. When Randy Orton was so sadistic and vile and brutal and disgusting and just ripped people to shreds. He has systematically torn everybody apart in Edge's family. He beat Edge at Backlash. He tore Christian apart tonight with that kick. Ric Flair low-blowed Christian. What do you think? This is nothing more than 2009. McMahon's versus Randy Orton. Continue more about that later. Now, we see Nia Jax and Asuka. Now you have to understand something. We saw Asuka take on Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte. Woo! The Queen is lurking in the wing, as she always does, right? Well, we all know that no matter what happens with Nia Jax here and about how Asuka won with this fast count, that Charlotte will probably be in the matchup at Extreme Rules. There's no way that WWE is going to keep Charlotte out of another championship matchup. There's no way. As much as it makes a lot of people cringe, the fact that Charlotte's going to be in another championship match this quick, because she just lost the NXT title. She goes right to Monday Night Raw, and she's already in a Raw championship match. And how? Because of her name, and because she's the queen of the WWE. Right? Well, WWE will have to do something, because Asuka and Nia Jax just don't have very good chemistry together. Now, they could put Shayna Baszler in that match. They could put somebody else in that matchup to give them TV time, but they won't do it. Speaking of other superstars in the women's division, they had two tag team kind of matchup segments, right, tonight. They had the Iconics beat Liv Morgan and Natalya in supposedly a number one contenders matchup for the women's tag team championship. And yes, I'm going to say a number one contenders match. So let me get this straight. People have been saying for weeks now, give Liv Morgan and, well, we haven't really been saying give Natalya more TV time. She's been getting TV time. But we've been saying give Liv Morgan TV time, right? And the way you give her TV time is by pairing her up with Natalya and having her job to the Iconics. Seriously? Does this make any sense at all? You build her up, you give her storyline, You have her go and do promos in the back. She gets a few wins here and there. And then you take her off TV. And then when she comes in, and then you take her off TV. And then when she comes back, she jobs to the Iconics. Seriously? Seriously. Only for the Iconics to challenge Bayley and Sasha Banks to the Women's Tag Team Championship and give us no reason to watch NXT this coming Wednesday unless you just want to watch a good tag team matchup. I mean, that's it. Zero reason to watch NXT Wednesday as far as the Women's Tag Team Championship matchup. And, honestly, another reason why you have 0 tag teams for the women's division. Because you continue to have the Iconics and a couple other tag teams just beat the other women that you just randomly pair together. Bruce, Brother Love, Vince McMahon, you make 0 sense by doing that. Moving on. Okay. So WWE teases all night long that Bobby Lashley is going to become the next WWE champion. Some of you might say, well, that's not going to happen. It wasn't the main event. Look, that possibly could have happened tonight. You wonder why? WWE's been putting a big thing that they want people to see, and it being like a big surprise or something huge happen at that 9 o'clock hour, at the top of the hour, because of ratings. Since that's the case, and since all the things that's going on in the world today, don't you think WWE might have pulled the trigger, pulled the plug on Drew McIntyre's WWE title reign and gave the title to Bobby Lashley? Wouldn't that make sense? Now, he's going to get another chance. MVP got pinned tonight. Extreme Rules. Bobby Lashley will get another chance, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit if he beat Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules. One thing to remember, at SummerSlam, we all know Brock Lesnar is probably going to come back. What's Vince McMahon going to want to do? Better yet, what's Brock Lesnar going to want to do? Is he going to face Drew McIntyre again, or is he going to want to face Bobby Lashley? One thing that's going to come out of that is, if he faces Drew McIntyre, he will stay a heel. WWE, if he faces Bobby Lashley, there's no doubt in my mind that Brock Lesnar turns babyface. No doubt in my mind. You try to turn Bobby Lashley heel, you try to turn Bobby Lashley babyface, I will laugh. I will laugh if people start cheering for Bobby Lashley. Keep that in mind. Now, moving on, okay? Moving on with Monday Night Raw, okay? With what's left that's important to talk about, okay? Because this entire show was not all that important outside of the two things that I just mentioned to you, which really was, the Randy Orton segment, which Christian was carried out again, like Edge was, and Bobby Lashley. That was it. Those were the two main things that was important. Everything else had little to zero importance. You could say that Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio was important. That was cool. We saw Dominic. I think sooner rather than later, I think that Dominic is going to turn on Rey Mysterio and join Seth Rollins. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome if Dominic became a follower of the Monday Night Messiah? That would be awesome to me. Just add to more of the storyline. Every time Dominic and Rey Mysterio have interacted, with each other in some form or fashion on WWE TV, it's been great. Seth Rollins adding another layer to all that. And this time, it does not have to do with somebody that's real close to the family, at least shown on TV. Eddie Guerrero is actually close to the family. Seth Rollins, not real close to the family as shown on TV. So, makes for an interesting dynamic here on this storyline. Dominic attacks Seth Rollins tonight. What's going to happen next week when Rey Mysterio comes to Monday Night Raw? What's Dominic going to do? You know he's going to be there. One thing that's interesting before I get out of here, wrestling fans, is the fact that this Friday, Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse returns. Thank you. Hopefully at Extreme Rules, we will see the return of The Fiend and him take his rightful place as the new Universal Champion in the WWE. Take that title off of Braun Strowman and then give us Jeff Hardy versus The Fiend at SummerSlam. That would be a good SummerSlam match to me. Give it to us. Give it to us, WWE. I don't know who wouldn't be happy with that match. But y'all let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. I am getting out of here. There's nothing left about Monday Night Raw to talk about. Let me know what you're thinking. Remember to give me a big thumbs up. Amongst everything else, and of course, until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch all of you on the other side. Talk to you later.